What's going on, everybody? This is the Brodega podcast. He is Tommy. I am Cole.
What's up, guys?
And on this week, we're going to dabble a little bit into what an NFT is, why you might want an NFT.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be quite honest with you. Cole had a rough week. Cole's a little fucking defeated. And I think Cole's going to go in a little rant mode. So we're going to get into that a little bit. If you're not following us on social media, follow us on Instagram, which is probably our most active page. We also have a Twitter. If you enjoy going on YouTube, give us a follow and a like on there. And if you're on any kind of podcast platform, if you really like us, make sure to leave a review and or a like. We'd really appreciate it.
Hey, guys. Yeah, it really helps out the show. All right.
Well, let's just get the elephant in the room covered. You're wearing a bright red jersey. It is Championship Sunday.
It is, yeah.
And we are trying to record so I can go sit down on my couch for 7 hours and not fucking move and watch some good football.
You have a recliner, don't you?
Oh yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you have like your recliner.
Yeah, it like, and you can tell it's my recliner because my fat ass sits in it, and it's like.
I've seen it, and like I know like your wife too. Like they just like it's kind of like it's yours, you know. Like my grandpa. I'm just saying, my grandpa had a recliner.
Yeah, it's really weird. I kind of had this like. When you're a kid, and you're like, well, I'm an adult. That was one of my lame ass dreams I had. I was like, I want to have my house, and I want to be the old guy with a recliner.
Yeah.
And like, I go so far as to like, I'm like a dog that pisses on things. Like my in-laws will come into town. In the moment, like when family comes in town, you help them bring their bags in and shit.
Yeah.
The moment that last bag comes out of the trunk, I'm fucking power walking. I sit that bitch down and I sit by a chair and I establish this is my fucking chair.
Don't fucking touch it.
Don't sit in it either. And the reason I'm not saying is it's kind of like my drum set. Don't fucking touch it.
Yeah.
But that was a 6. You want to see me out of 10? But also, I can neither confirm nor deny my genitals may or may not have been on that chair.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. Like
Don't
you've
sit in
seen. You helped me get my. Remember when I built the man cave upstairs.
Yeah.
And pretty much it was this room, but it's upstairs. And
the first thing I thought of as I'm like holding the bottom of the chair and I get my chin on like the armrests is like, there's a good chance I'm putting my chin in jizz right now.
You definitely were.
Yeah. So
the funny thing, because I have 2 of these bright red recliners, one smaller than the other, but like one is just like it's been with me since like I've been here in Georgia.
Yeah.
It's like the first piece of furniture I bought for some reason.
It's very sentimental.
Yeah, but I'm just like it massages, heats up, like it's a legit ass little recliner. And the other one I bought it. It was like $40 on like Facebook Marketplace, and we went, I think on like lunch or something like that, and picked it up.
Yeah,
we used your truck.
And you lied to me, and you didn't tell me it was up 3 flights of stairs.
I didn't know it was up there. Okay, I knew it was up a flight.
Fuck
She
you.
said
You
upstairs.
know.
I didn't know.
You're that guy. It'd be real easy. It's just a recliner, and then it's like it wasn't even like stairs. It was fucking.
It's like a spiral.
It's a spiral, dude. Like. I gotta actually watch where I'm stepping while I'm turning so I don't roll down and break my fucking neck for your stupid ass $40 recliner.
But yeah, like it. I mean, and then like I get to this place, and like I'm trying to furnish it, make it look like an adult house, and then I just have like my brown couch, everything's kind of like a neutral color, and then I have this bright red recliner that definitely does not fit in my house.
Dude, like going back to like my recliner, there are times at work I sit there and I feel defeated and I'm like, look at my clock and I see it's like 1 o'clock and I'm like 2 hours and I'm like fantasizing about sitting in my shitty brown recliner and like just sitting there. And I'll be honest, I spent way too much time than I would like to admit on positioning it where I wanted it.
Yeah.
Like, we're positioning all the stuff and I finally got the bit. I kind of got an area, and I was like, I don't really want the recliner right here next to the kitchen area.
Mm-hmm.
I get the light from the kitchen. Maybe like cooking. So like, I strategically put mine next to the window so I can watch TV.
Yeah.
I don't have the glare from the sun in my face either, and I have scenery, and I can see if anyone's approaching my house.
Oh yeah.
As in, like,
strategically positioned.
I know, and it's perfect. And we don't really have end tables or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I can use the windowsill to set things on,
Hell yeah,
i.e., a beer.
nice.
Yeah. So
You definitely thought that out.
I did, and I'm yeah, I'm not joking when I say I fantasize about sitting in that fucking chair sometimes. And one of my favorite things to do, and it might sound lame as hell, is sit in that chair for 7 hours and watch good football, and that's what I did last week.
Yeah.
Holy shit, football was awesome last
Dude,
week.
yeah, last week. Yeah, I hope it's more of that this week because last week I was
Not with the Bengals.
I was on like the edge of my seat every game.
Every game came down the last few seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and every game came down to a kicker.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I know the Chiefs Buffalo game went into overtime, but it relied on the last seconds for a kicker.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, that's why I watch playoff football. And that last weekend is why I tell people NFL football is better than college football.
Yeah.
That fucking weekend right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I get there's different audiences, but I get so tired of people like, what's your college team? I'm like, oh, I just kind of like dabble in college, more of a pro guy. And they're like, why? And I've said the joke 1,000 times on here, and I'll say it one more time. I don't give a flying fuck about Ethan playing tight end at Louisiana Tech, playing Alabama,
Yeah.
watching him go against 7 first-round draft picks on defense and 5 second-round draft picks on defense, getting fucking murdered, dropping the ball straight in his hands. I like watching Patrick Mahomes drive a whole football field in 13 fucking seconds.
Yep.
That was impressive.
It was, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, dude. That was some good football, and I really hope. Unfortunately, I think like even though the Niners needs my team and everything like that, they're definitely an underdog.
Yeah.
And then same thing with the Bengals. Like I feel like both those teams kind of shouldn't be there.
So I don't feel like the Bengals should be there, and it sounds shitty. It's just they're not winning today.
No.
I'm so confident that they're not winning today,
Mm-hmm.
and it's no disrespect. It's just you don't win football games and get sacked 9 times, but somehow the Bengals won.
Yeah.
All right.
It's ridiculous.
The Chiefs defense is better than the Titans defense.
Yeah.
Stats aside, the second half of the season, the Chiefs have had a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
The Bengals just need a few more pieces. That's the only reason why I'm hating on them.
Mm-hmm.
Your game, it's like I'm so on the fence. Like both, let's say the 2 hottest teams in the playoffs right now are the Rams and the Niners.
Yeah.
The Niners beat down on the Rams in SoFi Stadium in LA last week of the regular season. They've shown you guys are in the same division.
Yep.
You've shown that you can beat them. The Rams look fucking hot though, dude. Like,
I think they're taking it personal. And did you see the ticket sales though?
yeah,
it's
60
like
40 49ers.
Yeah. Yeah, they're taking over that stadium.
Yeah, they had like it was like 60-40 Rams the last game, and the Niners sounded louder than the Rams fans.
Yeah.
And I mean, hate on me, LA, but it just goes to show you like I say there's some shitty sports cities. Atlanta's one of them.
Yeah.
Atlanta is not a very dedicated sports city.
No. It's just that their colors are cool.
Yeah, and then like LA it's not very dedicated either. And I don't mean that as in like it's more like there's a lot of shit to do in LA. And I really think people just go to like for the experience.
Just something to do, yeah.
Yeah, like you can buy they have like low level boxes and you can buy it's like you essentially you can buy a seat in there, but like there's other people that can do it too. It's not like a club seat where like a business owns it or something.
Yeah.
And like whenever they pan the cameras onto that shit, there's always people just sitting there on their phones doing that. They're not really even watching the game. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like, I mean, 49ers fans have shown that they're football fans. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, any Bay Area team, whenever they show out, like it's such a tight knit community for any type of Bay Area team.
I think whoever wins the Niners Rams game it's going to come down to a field goal again.
Yeah. I hope it's a great game.
I
Do they
think
play first?
I don't know.
I haven't looked. I think the Bengals
Actually, I
play
think they
first.
played tonight.
Okay.
The Bengals Chiefs game. I think the Chiefs are going to win by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. That's what everybody's saying too. It's not gonna be like a close game, but it's you know it's not gonna be a blowout.
It's not a hot take.
Yeah, it's not gonna be an embarrassment.
Yeah, you can turn me up a little bit, thanks. So it's not a hot take. I'm big on offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Like they should not won last week. I mean, everyone can shit on the Titans. They should not have fucking won last week.
Yeah.
You don't get sacked 9 times when you have Pat Mahomes playing the other time. Like,
no,
it won't happen. You happen to capitalize on the Titans that for some reason can't get past a divisional playoff round.
Yep.
Even though they have 2 top 10 wide receivers, the best running back in the league. I don't know what the fuck what's going on there, but I don't know, man. Like it's gonna be Chiefs and Niners or Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rooting for. I swear, it's not even because of you. Even if you weren't, I'm rooting for the Niners.
Yeah.
I want the Niners to win. It'd be kind of a cool rematch.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, it would.
Dude, Deebo Samuel is on fucking fire.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if he doesn't catch a single pass.
He's gonna run though.
No, what I'm saying is like if he doesn't do anything else and you guys win the Super Bowl, he deserves Super Bowl MVP. Even if he has zero yards in the Super Bowl. Because the only reason why you're here right now is because of Deebo.
Yeah, yeah.
And that dude was hurt last week.
Yeah.
He was hurting.
I think it's awesome that they're putting him in the backfield.
Yeah, he's a fucking stud. He will get paid.
Yeah, you and Bobby were talking about it last week, and like I didn't realize it, but he's been running more than he's been catching.
What I love about sports is like those times of greatness where like a guy's like, get me the ball.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And like for instance, Deebo, he had a microphone on him, and he's like, hey coach, give me the ball. We're gonna score on this play. And he's like, okay. And they gave him the ball, and he scored.
Yeah.
He ran a 40-yard touchdown in against the Cowboys.
Yep.
Like that's what's awesome about sports is like guys get hot and they know it, and that level of confidence to back it up is just fucking amazing. He's been my favorite player to watch this whole season. He will get a raise this year.
I hope so.
You'd be foolish not to sign him to a long-term deal. I really want to see the Niners there. The Niners, I mean, the Rams and the Niners both have a great defense. Teams that can go up against the Chiefs. Either way, we're going to have a good Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But yeah, so want to get into this NFT nonsense?
A little bit. Can I have the floor real quick?
Yeah, man,
just something I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
So we are going to get to NFTs a little bit, and
okay.
we're not gonna bore everybody with it.
Are you pregnant?
We're just gonna give the basics. No, I'm not pregnant. So back when we met each other, you told me that I reminded you of a certain television character.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Marshall.
Marshall from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, like dead on.
And I said I had never seen the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then I proceeded to watch the show.
You don't know how excited I am because I know where this conversation's going. You know how much I love this.
It's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah.
Legitimately. And I'm not a big sitcom guy.
Yep.
I think it's one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. You tell me, I'm like, I've never seen the show. I start watching. I think like 5 episodes in, I text you like, okay, I see the resemblance.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the show, I recommend it. It's on every I think it's on Hulu and another streaming service. You can watch it for free, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Basically, the premise is this guy named Ted is telling his kids over the course of like 9 seasons.
And it's crazy because they span it over 9 seasons very well.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's like, oh, we're making
repetitive, but anyway, Ted's like telling his kids a story about how he met his mother, or their mother. And like you said, they spread out well. I think around season 7 or 8, I kind of get a little tired of Ted going, I just want to find love. But that's the only complaint I can give towards the show.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic. Everyone knows who Barney Stinson is. Marshall and Lily are great.
Ducky Tie right behind you,
Yeah,
right
Ducky
there.
Tie. I mean, Barney Stinson was kind of an inspiration towards this show.
Yeah.
We wanted to do like the bro code, which he like writes a book about being bros
Yeah.
and shit. It's a fantastic show all the way through. A lot of people say they ripped off Friends. I highly disagree.
So as I'm watching, so I've seen Friends all the way through. I finally watched it a couple years ago, and now I'm watching Seinfeld. Um, there are, and How I Met Your Mother came out after both of those.
Yeah.
And it's kind of there's resemblance in Seinfeld that I saw in Friends, and there's resemblance that I saw in Seinfeld and Friends that I saw in How I Met Your Mother.
And I can see that
Because
they elevated TV.
Yeah, but you have to remember all of these shows based in New York, group of friends. Based in New York, group of friends. Based in New York, group of friends. There's gonna be similarities.
Yeah. But what I argue is it's its own show.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. I like it better than Friends and Seinfeld. And I like Friends and Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I do.
Like I was telling you last week, dude, I got into Seinfeld heavy now.
You got me rewatching it. I've seen every episode.
Yeah.
I used to watch it when I get home from school.
I saw the pirate.
I don't want to be a pirate. So yeah, you hadn't seen it. I was like, just wait till the pirate shirt. Well, I watched. We're getting a little off subject, but I watched. Like you got me rewatching it after you brought that up, and I saw this on Netflix.
I bought a Seinfeld shirt.
Yeah, you
on
wore it
Amazon.
last week.
Yeah, I was drunk as hell, and I was watching Seinfeld, and I was like, I want a Seinfeld shirt, and it's the most comfortable shirt I own right now. It is ridiculous how comfortable the shirt is.
But so I'm rewatching it, and even the shows that aren't, or the episodes that aren't popular, are still fucking hilarious. Like I watched the episode last night where they're going to have George and Jerry are going to have dinner with Elaine's dad.
Oh yeah.
And Elaine's dad is like an old Korean War veteran, and he's like a really highly esteemed like author. And she's running late, and they're both afraid of him, and they're like, "So, really liked your book." He's like, it was drabble. And they're like, "Yeah, a little drabble." He's like, "What parts?" And they're like, and then like, he's like, "Which one's the funny one?" And he's like, "Oh, this guy." He's like, "You're a funny guy, huh? We had a funny guy back in Korea, and then the Koreans blew his brains out all over the Pacific." They're like, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
And that's like the same thing. Like Robin's dad was like the same type of like that
Yeah.
type, character. But it's awesome, dude. And I love Elaine too. She is gorgeous.
Yeah. She
Nice.
still looks good even in her age. Like you said, I was watching March Madness, and Northwestern was in it, and her son was playing in the game or some shit.
Yeah.
She went there and she was in the honors. I was like, she's still looking pretty fine for being, up there in age.
Yeah. I like this new position. What do you think of it? Does it look cool?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, look cool. All right. So what are you saying?
But anyway, so we love How I Met Your Mother, right? There are a bunch of classic. Like, if you haven't watched it, go fucking watch it. Like, there's a bunch of classic episodes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll admit, me connecting with Marshall, like Marshall making up his own board game. Or just like one thing that makes me laugh is that I do now during board games is they're like, he's one of the things is he's just really good at board games and he doesn't know why, and he wins all of them. And like they're showing the games, he's like, Yahtzee. And he's like, all these games where you have to like yell like, sorry. And then I think they're playing like poker, and he slams his card down and he goes, poker. Like, you don't have to yell it. It's just like I'll do that now.
Yeah.
I'm like, Monopoly.
I've been told that I like just like how I am with not like the whole like love searching thing that Ted has, but just like his personality.
Yeah.
Like I've heard that Ted is like how I am sometimes, like very like just just how you gotta watch the show to understand.
They're just all tight. It's the small things for this show.
Yeah.
Like there's the big thing. And there's the small things. They're like, they bring Marshall and Lily bring their baby home, and they're like, be careful. He's like, what? You don't know how my family was with babies? And they like do a flashback, and they're like, oh, here's little baby Marshall back from the hospital, like hot potato, and they're tossing an infant baby around like it's a basketball.
I like the there's always whenever something goes chaotic, the murder song. Murder. That shit always gets me.
Oh
All
man.
right, so
Or Robin Sparkles.
yeah.
Let's go to the mall.
And the crazy thing is, as you watch these shows, there are so many celebrities in this
Mhm.
show. Like Katy Perry was in it, Britney Spears,
James Vanderbeek.
yeah, all these dudes, like all these like actors, singers, like all these coming up stars were in it, and it's just crazy. And like it was all written by Ted, you know.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like the architect guy. Yeah,
But yeah, so anyway, yeah, I could talk about the show for a whole episode, but
yeah,
I start seeing commercials, and at first I paid them no mind because I was like, oh, another show about two chicks, which is just not up my alley. Nothing against it. But then one day I actually paid attention to this ad I kept seeing. It was called How I Met Your Father.
yeah.
And I was like, so I look a little closer. I'm like, oh, Hilary Duff's in it. Hilary Duff is a banging chick. She's
Love
looking
me some
great.
Hilary Duff. She's like the only
Yeah.
chick that didn't go crazy on the Disney Channel.
Good actress too.
Yeah.
I'm watching it and I'm like, the thing that started perturbing me was I was like, this isn't like a sitcom for everybody. This is strictly like a chick flick show.
Mhm.
Like, so
I watched it when it first came out.
There's
'Cause
like-
you know how I
yeah.
am about How I Met Your Mother.
And I'm so like you told me, and then I had to go see for myself, and I'm fucking angry.
Yeah, dude.
All right, because it really doesn't hold that much resemblance with the previous show, and they ripped off of it. Like it is a spinoff.
Yeah.
It's called How I Met Your Father. They're in Ted's apartment. It's just renovated.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the fucking swords on the wall
Oh wow.
that Marshall and Ted would sword fight with.
Yep.
But it's just another 20, late 2000s comedy where it's like, oh my god, I sent a weird emoji. And like it just, I don't know. I feel like they just put the name so people would like, oh, I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
And it's not that. And it's still early, but it's not How I Met Your Mother. It's not in the same fucking universe.
Same
It's not
close.
the same comedy. And the beauty about How I Met Your Mother was like we're two dudes talking about it. Anybody, like, it was the biggest show for like years running when it
Yeah.
was on.
Yep.
Everybody was watching, not just guys. This one is directed more towards women, which okay, fine.
Yeah.
But that's not what, like, Friends wasn't that way. Seinfeld wasn't that way. Like, there are certain shows that were geared towards all
All demographics. Yeah.
demographics.
Mhm.
And that's what fucking irritates me about it. And the other part about it is like, oh, like, one, I'm kind of tired of the whole reboot thing.
Yeah.
I've been actually watching a couple of documentaries where I'm watching like old Hollywood guys. And they're like, this is still back in the day when people had good ideas and just take other ideas because they're fucking lazy. Like I
Yeah.
watch a guy say that and call out
Mhm.
all these producers who used to be a producer, like while he's smoking. But if I'm working at some studio and they're like, Cole, you've got to remake How I Met Your Mother. It's called How I Met Your Father. Go. Here's an idea. You ready?
Yeah.
So the wife from How I Met Your Mother, the mother,
Yeah.
make it like her, the actress,
Mm-hmm.
do How I Met Your Mother with her and her group of friends.
Yeah.
And like have it, you could even do this whole like little teaser thing where like you mix in her episodes with his episodes. Like there's like they were at the same club one night.
Yeah.
Like that is a thing in How I Met Your Mother. And he takes her umbrella.
Mhm.
She's like, and that could be one of those things where like she walks in this club with an umbrella and sets it down. She's like, where the fuck did my umbrella go?
Yeah.
Just like little shit like that. Or like Ted dates her roommate for
Yep.
a couple dates. She'd come out and she was like, that sounded like it went bad.
Yep.
Like shit like that, right? And
'Cause
do
she-
your own thing.
Because even though you didn't, because that's a great idea, because you don't get to really see the mother until pretty much the end of season 8.
Yeah.
Like the last episode.
You
of
see her
season-
once.
Yeah.
And then season 9, they start trickling her in.
Yeah. But even in the season 9, you love her.
Yeah.
Like just the short time you met her, you're like, this chick's awesome. Like this for sure. I mean, but there's always the the Robin factor that went into it. But,
Yeah, I don't want to give away for people that haven't watched it,
Yeah.
the ending,
but like there's just like the short time you see her, you're like, I like her. So I think like like they
Yeah.
definitely could have done that.
and she
That's
was
been-
fun. Like even the episode where they do kind of a How I Met Your Father spin-off episode,
Yeah.
it was even funny.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm getting at is they could have made it about her and her group of friends, because they show she had a group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
And like something in the show that they showed that I feel like is not a spoiler is she was engaged to another guy. He ends up dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could show that character arc.
Yeah.
You know, like going through this relationship thing. She's found the one.
Yeah, because Ted went through all these relationships in the show, and like
Yeah.
you like well, you didn't really like Stella, but you like Victoria, all these other people. Like
Victoria's my favorite.
yeah, mine too. And I think like he went through all these like different love stories and everything like that, and I think that's you can do the same thing.
You could show that arc, right?
Yeah.
And then you could create her friends or different characters, right?
Yep.
And it doesn't have to be a carbon copy of the show, but what I'm getting at is it could be the same structure,
Mm-hmm.
and then do your own episodes. And every once in a while, you do one of those things where, like, I don't know, they could even do something where, like, at the end of an episode, she's like at a bar, and here comes Barney Stinson, like, "Hey, how you doing?" She's like, "No," like you could do shit like that. You get a little Neil Patrick Harris cameo, it'd be
Yeah.
great. But instead, they went with this thing where they're like, "Let's throw How I Met Your Father on there," and it's not it's not the same universe.
Yeah, no.
And that's what fucking irritates me is like you're ruining a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to like I always tell people, because they're like, "Oh, you're into movies, how do you feel about this?" I'm cool with some remakes. Like I gave a fuck less when they redid Red Dawn.
Yeah.
Like Russia invades America. Like, okay, I'm not really like a
Yeah.
purist about Red Dawn.
But yeah, I think some movies like that have been remade with today's technology have done justice to the movies.
Yeah, and they've brought new viewers in. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But what I always tell people is there's certain movies, and I quote, this is what I always say: there are certain movies you don't fucking touch.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, if you noticed, I'll even go outside the bro realm, more of a chick realm.
Yeah.
Have you noticed they've done spinoffs, but they've never redone The Wizard of Oz?
True.
That was made in the 30s. We're coming up on that movie being 100 years old,
Jesus.
and they've never remade it. They've done The Wiz with Michael Jackson, more of a spinoff, right? They've done like prequels.
Yeah.
They've even done a Broadway show where they show the origins of the witches. They've never remade The Wizard of Oz because you don't fucking touch The Wizard of Oz because
That's
it's
true.
an American movie classic.
Mm-hmm.
I
You ever
would
been to a
put
play?
yes, I have been to a couple of Broadway shows and I've been to some plays.
What'd you see?
I saw Wicked, which is the prequel
Okay.
to The Wizard of Oz.
Mhm.
I have seen I've seen one more. What was it? It's escaping me right now.
The Nutcracker?
And it's more of a ballet.
Oh, I saw the Nutcracker.
Oh, that's a classic. Here's my thing: like, you can go see these classic things, and like
Mhm.
say you've seen them. Like, Les Miserables. That's the other one I've
okay,
seen.
okay. With Wolverine.
Not the movie,
Yeah.
but and then like I've seen like some Broadway movies and some
Mhm.
local productions. I dated some theater chicks in high school. That's really what it came down. Or high school would be like, hey, you can have Thursday and Friday off if you go to Chicago to see a Broadway show. And I'm like, a free day off school and I get Friday off.
Yeah.
I'm in. And I go and I watch a Broadway show and I eat at Giordano's in Chicago
Mm-hmm.
and I fucking go home and I got the next day off.
That's
Like,
pretty cool.
yeah.
Is Chicago really as bad as a? Because I know you've
So,
been to
I got
Chicago.
love. Yeah.
You've been to Chicago a few times. I know you have.
I got love for that city. I really do love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like every city.
Mm-hmm.
There's parts that are not as safe as others. The difference is that city, like I would argue LA has some problems, right?
Yeah.
Like they have a homeless problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like I watched a piece this week actually where you can't go to Venice Beach without stepping on a fucking like a heroin needle.
Mm-hmm.
Like they show, I'm like, that is dirty.
Yeah.
New York's got its problems. Right now they're having a problem with just like dudes are literally going in and robbing stores because they know they won't go to jail because they're reform right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every big city has their problem. Chicago is they have very strict gun laws, but like shocker, these gangs on the south side are able to get guns. And it
Yeah.
is kind of a fucking war zone.
Yeah.
But like all you have to do is avoid south side in the heights,
Mm-hmm.
which is very easy to do because like if you take the train, it takes you right into like downtown, which is the touristy part. Or if you come in on the highway, guess what? It takes you straight to downtown.
Yeah.
Um, that's the only thing is like I drove through the heights one time with my dad to go see Chicago Bears training camp, and my dad's like, he parked the car. He's like, in 1 minute, tell me to move because he had to look at like our MapQuest map.
Yeah.
And he's like, let me know if anybody walks up the fucking car. But so like every city's got their problems. There right now is they just have a lot of gun violence and no way to like stop it. And they're like, we made the rules. Like shocking,
Surprise.
right?
It doesn't work.
Yeah, I get it. Like a lot of people in that part of Chicago die. But if you go up to like Wrigleyville, where a lot of the locals live, downtown's the touristy part. There's police everywhere. No one really gets shot on fucking Broadway Street. Like, or not Michigan Avenue, not Broadway Street. I'm thinking of Nashville.
Yeah. I was like, that sounds familiar.
No, Michigan Avenue is like the touristy part. You
Yep.
can go to like 3-story Nikes and stuff. Like that touristy stuff, it's fine. I'll tell you what though, it's prepared me for panhandlers.
Yeah.
Chicago has some of the most impressive panhandling I've ever fucking seen in my life. Like I remember watching, just because I've seen it enough times and I didn't donate, but I watched this guy go up to people and go, "Excuse me, sir, I am from like some small town in Minnesota. You know, it's directly an hour and a half from St. Paul. I need exactly $5 to have just enough money for an Amtrak ticket to get the fuck out of here. Can you help me?" And they're like, yeah, here, like it, yeah. And it was like really fucking believable. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
And then I'd watch him doing it again and again. Or like, I'll be honest, one time I got lost when I was in high school, and I went up to, this black guy. And the reason why I say black guy is like, he was like sitting there like with his friends, they're smoking, and this little high school white boy comes up to him. I'm like, "You fellas look like you know your way around here," and like, they're like, "What?" And I'm like, and basically I just pull a $10 bill out of my pocket and I go, "Which way to the train station?" And like I paid them to give me directions because I know how shit works. But yeah, like it's just like every city, man. Maybe the gun violence. I don't know the statistics. Maybe the gun violence is worse, but like I said, every place has their problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the thing. And like I'm not trying to get too political. It's just like the mayor, for instance. She's like, "I made gun rules. You can't have a gun," and they're like, shocking. The criminals don't listen to the fucking law.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good old Lori Lightfoot. But hey, let's get on to the main topic a little bit of the show. You've explained to me the basics of NFTs, and we don't want to put anybody to sleep. But we know it's a thing that people are talking about, and I know for a fact I was like, "What the fuck is this shit that people are talking about?"
Yeah.
And you started getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think would be cool is to just like explain the basics of an NFT, and then like after that, tell us why you may or may not want to buy NFTs right now.
Okay. So so NFT is a non-fungible token, right? So the only value of the actual NFT is how much essentially it can resell for. So you mint an NFT, right?
Yeah.
Minting is just like how you mint money, right? So whenever you create something, it all has a serial number and everything like that, right? Whenever you create money, it has a serial number associated with it, has a mint at that time, right? So when you mint an NFT, you're funding it, right? Because it costs a certain amount of cryptocurrency. And this crypto can be, the big ones right now is Ethereum. That's where all the heavy hitters are right now, is on the Ethereum blockchain. Like Brodega Yacht Club, CryptoPunks, you know, all those big names, the real status NFTs.
Yeah, essentially money that has to go through code on the internet.
Exactly, yeah. So, and then you have the Solana NFTs right now, and then Cardano. They're all, you know, every crypto's coming out with their NFTs, like, you know, because that's just the way it works. like, once someone markets it, there's always going to be different markets, right?
Yeah, it's just like streaming.
Exactly. Yeah.
Netflix has one, Amazon had to come out with one,
Yep.
Disney had to come out with one.
Exactly. Same concept. So currently, I'm a big believer in that. I have Ethereum NFTs, but I also have a lot of Solana NFTs because I believe Solana is a lot better for new users. The transaction fees are fractions of a penny, and it's so new that you can get into NFTs. You can buy, big NFTs for like $100. You know what I mean? To buy an NFT in Ethereum, big name NFT for Ethereum, up to $1 million.
Which I should note to people, 100. I found out that $100 for an NFT is cheap.
Yeah, that's like, yeah.
Yeah. So because I said I was going to get a cheap NFT, and then you're like, here's one for 0.8 Solana. That's about $100. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So the first thing we'll talk about is the two different worlds essentially that
Okay.
I want to talk about. So we'll talk about the Ethereum one, then we'll talk about Solana because those are the two names right now. Those are two like heavy hitters. So Ethereum, they both kind of have their pros and cons. So Ethereum is well established, right? Each Ethereum goes for about $4,000 to get one Ethereum token. But Ethereum is like set, like it's not going anywhere, kind of like Bitcoin. But there's speculation that Bitcoin might be going away. That's neither here nor there. That's later research. But Ethereum's not going anywhere. It's proof of stake, so it's all based off of people holding it and staking it, so it builds interest and creates more coins. You can't mine for Ethereum. It's like an actual.
There's a set amount.
There's a set amount, yeah. So it's once there's so many Ethereum, that's it. All you can do is stake it to grow interest on it. That's it. Just like like you do at a bank.
Yeah.
And then Solana, right? So Solana is newer. It came out 2019.
It's more of a startup, right?
Yeah, kind of starting up. It goes right now currently in a bear market crypto that we're in right now. There's all the cryptos are tanking, right? Happens about every 4 years. The cryptos tank. Next 4 years they build even higher, tank. It's just the way it works. So right now Solana's like juvenile, and it's about $100 right now for one Solana. And if you do your good research, you can get to 6 or 7 pretty decent Solana if NFTs out of it. If you do like the research, I mean, you're not going to get like the big name ones like the Bankrupt Apes or something like that. Like those are the big names for there and the.
But you might get something that could accrue interest.
Exactly. So that's what I've been doing lately. Is I'm mining for it currently. There's literally a Ethereum rig right behind the camera, and then I mine Ethereum on it, and I get paid out in Solana.
Essentially, for anybody at home that doesn't know, mining crypto is essentially buying a computer GPU and having that GPU accrue money depending on the power.
Yeah.
That's the best way to like broad strokes say how that works.
The easiest way is all these computers go into one pool. The pool can be hundreds up to 1,000 computers, right? And what they're going to do, they're going to be given an algorithm. Like, hey, this algorithm will turn into an Ethereum. And then based off how much mega hash your GPUs produce is the percentage of like the coin that you get. So all these computers, imagine a supercomputer solving a really long algorithm, and then everybody gets a piece of that. So if you have a lot of mega hash, you get a lot more percentage of that Ethereum coin after you solve it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm getting paid in Solana to buy these NFTs. So the reason why I believe that NFTs are going to be big is because of what's coming out, right? You have the metaverse. Mark Zuckerberg started Meta, which now is turned into the metaverse. And the best way to describe metaverse is an early stage of Ready Player One. If you haven't seen the movie Ready Player One, it is a movie produced by Steven Spielberg. It's a great movie.
It's actually really fantastic.
Yeah. And so you gotta think about the metaverse is like so early in its stage. The
Yeah.
graphics are like if you ever seen someone play like Minecraft or Roblox, that's kind of like where we're at right now.
So, like, this is how I had to associate it when you're
Mhm.
explaining to me, and I think this might help people. Is
Mhm.
think about like Mark Zuckerberg has created the metaverse, and if
Mhm.
you go watch the movie Ready Player One, they go into like a video game type world where you can do whatever you want. That's essentially what he started.
Mhm.
But what you have to understand is think about if we lived in the 80s and the Nintendo just came out.
Yeah.
That's where we're at for the metaverse. So if anything, where we're at with video games and things and virtual stuff like that, we are basically living in the 80s, and most likely our grandchildren will have an opportunity to really take advantage of that metaverse.
Yes. And these NFTs that you can currently get right now, some have what's called utility. And utility is something they can do in the metaverse. So, for example, one of my Ethereum NFTs is a DJ. So when you come to my metaverse, I will always have a DJ if I want to, fucking,
Playing shit.
playing shit if I want to. That is his utility. Um, and then so right now the Solana NFTs aren't really like there's some that have like games and you can download an app. So like I have an Monkey Army. That's one of or yeah, Monkey Army. That's like the NFT. And you can download an app and you can use this monkey to fight other people's NFT monkeys. So like, it's a
very,
fun
It's
yeah.
very ground level.
Yeah,
right
it's very
now.
ground level.
Yeah.
The best way to equate NFTs right now is, everybody's probably seen it on Instagram and stuff like that. We are before the internet takes off. So the amount of people who own an NFT right now in all of the world is about 5% of people in all of the world. Only about 30 to 40% of people in the entire world has even heard about an NFT. That's how early it is in its stage. And literally, the metaverse and the NFT market are going to be cohesive together. So once you get to, and what I believe is going to be the future, honestly, you need to have these NFTs in this metaverse universe, essentially.
And the reason why he's saying that you need these is like think about the internet being created, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first search engine was Yahoo.
Yeah.
Think about it if you invested in the first Google.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's where I'm at right now. I'm accumulating all these NFTs that have a function. But then, so the big three functions that happen on right now is the utilities I talked about, the dividends, and then the real world playing of them, like like I talked about in the app and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, but the other one, the one that I plan on starting, is charity based, right? So these NFTs can be used; their actual picture can be animated or used in an actual game. So there's games where you literally just like, hey, I own. You have to verify that you actually own this NFT, and you can play like it's for example right now one of the big ones is it's called Space Odyssey, I believe, or Space Exodus, I think, something like space something. And you're a astronaut, and all you can see is your face, right? Well, you can upload your NFTs, and then you play this very good looking game, but your character is your NFT.
Yeah.
So like it's that's where it's at right now.
And that's the utility of it is if you were so like there's two ways you can go with it. And I want to make sure we're equating, like make people understand like you could either buy these NFTs and you say, "Hey, I want to run around as a fucking tatted up dude with a six pack."
Yeah.
Or you could buy these NFTs as in like to accrue interest. And then when this starts to take off, you have some of these really expensive NFTs and people are like, man, you got a fucking doodle monkey?
Yeah.
I'll buy that from you. And you ended up just selling it for 1,000 times of what you paid for.
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to get right now because like, for example, I paid 0.1 Solana for, whatever, this NFT, right? I do fully believe that Solana is going to take off this year. if they can fix their servers. Like every crypto has its downfall, right? All this shit's so early, there's issues, right? I believe if these Solanas do, or these take off and Solana does 10 time like it's supposed to this year, this 0.1 that I paid for, so essentially about $10 I paid for the Solana, is going to be worth $1,000 here at the end of the year. So even if I sell it for what I originally invested it in, I have 10 times my money.
Yeah.
So that is how, essentially it's a gamble though. But at this point right now, it's so early in the stage, the gamble isn't.
It's not that severe.
It's not gonna, you're not gonna lose your house over it.
And then, like, if you have a large stock of this, when the metaverse becomes a mainstream thing, people that are new to it are trying to buy the shit that you have.
Yeah.
And you make money.
Yeah. It's all like
I'm trying to keep it so people understand, so we don't bore everybody, because I know this is a very volatile thing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Just think about it. If you go watch that movie, like in the beginning, he's like talking about what, the Oasis is what they call this world. It's the metaverse in our world.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going down, he's like these trailers, and there's like a woman on a stripper pole in her VR headset. She's acting like a stripper.
Yeah.
And there's another guy with boxing gloves on, and like he's a fucking boxer.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, you'll be able to go in this world and the NFTs, and you can, be this person, or like you can buy a house NFT. You have your own fucking apartment with a DJ in it, and you're like your hangout spot, and then you and your buddies go and fucking do something in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Let's meet up at my loft.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the metaverse is essentially going to be.
Yes. And, like you had a worry about it, a hesitation.
I did.
That there's going to be multiple metaverses. Like there's going to be Amazon's metaverse. There's going to be Facebook's metaverse.
That's what I was worried about.
Walmart's fucking metaverse.
That's what I was worried about. Because like, look at streaming. Netflix was the only streaming, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then now there's how many?
Oh,
and now I can't watch The Office unless I have Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't watch freaking The Boys unless I have Amazon.
Yeah.
And that's what I was worried about.
So yeah, that was the big speculation with it. But Zuckerberg, love him or hate him or wherever he is, he got all of these companies on board. There's only going to be one metaverse. And all of these big companies are going in. You can speculate, well, it's just a money grab, and all this shit. There are big moves being made to create this world.
And my skepticism started dwindling, one, after I talked to you, but really, like, I listen to other podcasts. Like, for instance, one I like is The Daily. It's a very unbiased news source. It's about 30 minutes of news. And you can actually not have someone trying to fucking turn you into a robot, right?
Yeah.
And guy that specializes in crypto came on and talked about what the metaverse is. And there are a lot of big name people buying into Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse. So like when Jeff Bezos, who is the second richest man in the world, is like, I'm buying into Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse, when he could easily make his own, that puts my mind at ease.
Yeah.
And like there's other people like that, but it's a big one. When Jeff Bezos is like, okay, I'm not gonna create my own, that makes me think, okay, I can buy into this.
Yep. And that's the biggest thing to understand is this is so early. Anything we're saying now could easily change in the future. But just seeing on what all these companies are building towards, I think it's going to be awesome. The speculations that it's not going to be awesome. It's going to just create more distance between people. It's going to become a lot less personable.
Yeah, devil's advocate. I mean, there's pros and cons. I mean, think about like the algorithms that go into like what we see in Facebook that could happen in the metaverse.
Yeah.
You're not talking to people. You're in your house, and you're not. Excuse me. You're not having that face-to-face conversation, right?
Yeah.
But
just imagine though, like you're like a fucking Pokemon running around. You're like, I'm gonna go see my grandma. And you go to run to her metaverse.
I'm telling you, if you want to understand more like what we're talking about, watch Ready Player One. It really all makes sense. Like at the beginning, they show this battle going on in the Oasis, and his two buddies are fighting for this robot gauntlet where you can be whatever robot you want for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
they're essentially fighting for an NFT
Yeah.
to be able to turn into whatever robot they want. And then if you die in this movie, you lose all your loot.
Yeah.
So like you lose your NFTs and stuff, which probably won't happen in the real world. But what I'm getting at is the whole time they're like for instance, they go into the movie The Shining
Mm-hmm.
and they do shit, right? But they're still their character, right?
Yep.
So that's what it really is like you'll be able to go do what you want, dressed how you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're a girl and you want to be a guy you want to be a girl, or if you want to be a fucking Pokemon,
Yeah.
you know, like you can go do that, and then like you can go shoot stuff, or you can go race, or
Yeah.
you can go be a stripper if you want. You know, like the it's amazing that like we'll probably be old when it is really prevalent.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
Yeah. Like I prefaced before, it's so early. It's before. It's like right when the internet's created. Like this is how early we are in the metaverse, NFT world, stuff like that. So, the biggest thing you have to understand is, and I want to like let you know is like, if you're gonna get into it, you can go either route. It takes a lot of research though to understand if a project actually is worth investing into. So I'm gonna go over like kind of like the basis of how to buy some very, very, very easy essentially. So if you're gonna buy an Ethereum NFT, it's called OpenSea. That's like the biggest one. That's like the biggest marketplace right now for Ethereum NFTs. You need to download a crypto wallet. MetaMask is the most popular one for NFTs on Ethereum blockchain. You buy some Ethereum, do your research, okay, and then I'm gonna let you know. So then the other one is called SolSea, is for Solana NFTs. So you kind of get like the OpenSea, SolSea type of thing, and so with that, you also have to have a crypto wallet. So you can,
It's like PayPal
yeah, essentially PayPal.
for crypto.
Yep, exactly. It just holds your crypto money. That's all it is. Um, so I use SolSea, or I use Solflare, excuse my wallet, but Phantom is the most popular one there is. So you download these wallets, um, fund them, put some money into them, add some Solana or Ethereum, whatever way you want to go. And so we'll talk about the Ethereum one. So you go in there, do your research. So I keep iterating, do your research. Go onto the site, look at the NFT, go to the website, make sure they have a clear road path, what they're going to do. Generation 1 NFTs. What do they do? Do they do anything? Do they donate? Do they have any type of utility? If they do, great. If they don't, then, maybe it's just an art project. It is what it is. Check out their Twitter. Make sure their Twitter actually has a following, right? And then if they have 8,000 followers, make sure they're at least getting 10% of those likes, because there's bots that you can get follow bots, you know what I mean? And you just bump your numbers up to make it seem like your project is better than it is. So what you have to understand is whenever there is something new taking off, there's always going to be people out there who are pieces of shit and trying to scam you out of your money, right?
Always is.
Always is. Every single thing there's ever been, there will always be piece of shit out there trying to scam you for your money. So do your research. And then last, and what I think is most important for me, is the Discord. So the communities are the most important thing when it comes to NFTs. The community needs to be active, needs to give a shit about the project. The creators need to give a shit about the project. And they have to have a clear roadmap of what they want to do.
And if you're not too familiar, Discord is a app where essentially, based off your interests, you can get into a gigantic group chat with people all around the world.
Yep. Yeah.
Like I'm in a Discord group for miniatures.
Yeah.
Like that's what Discord is. And what he's saying is most of these things have Discord. You can go check out their Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a bunch of human beings actually talking about how, like, oh, I like the new thing that came out that shows that there is interest in it. And or if you see a bunch of bots, like you would see on like Instagram comments like, oh baby, you're so hot, like those ones are obvious.
Exactly.
That's what you need to look for.
And never link your wallet to anything ever, except for the sites that you're buying your NFTs from. Because you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to allow your wallet to interact with the site that you're buying an NFT from. If they're ever asking for it on Discord, if they're ever asking for it on Twitter, if they're ever asking for it's a fucking scam, okay?
It's a piece of shit.
It's the only place you ever link your wallet is where you're buying your NFTs from. That's it.
Yeah.
So just be aware, because like recently some dude lost about $200 million in NFTs,
That's insane.
and it's ridiculous. He didn't have much investment in it, but because he got them early,
Yeah.
but he lost essentially $200 million.
Interest. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's insane. Like there's people out there scamming. Don't.
I appreciate this ground
Yeah.
level, very base level class because, like I said, like we're not trying to turn it into like a whole class.
Yeah.
But
And then I only have a few more things
Oh,
to
I'm
say about
sorry.
it. No, no worries. I just only a few more things. So, if there isn't a website, that's okay. Typically, all these things don't really have a website. But if their Twitter and Discord is active, still kind of like make sure do your research and stuff like that. But if their website isn't there, that's okay. It's not everybody's really can create a website and stuff like that. It's pretty hard, kind of
Yeah.
hard to do. But as long as the communities are active, that's great. And then, like I've said a million times, do your research. And then what you do with these NFTs is up to you. So if it's an early project and you see it going somewhere and you want to double your money, because I've also been buying and selling them too. If I know, like, they're kind of just like hype and they're mostly just pictures, but I know they're going to have a lot of hype behind them, I typically buy them to just resell them. So just the biggest thing to understand is just, there's a million YouTube videos out there on it. And just the base level is to understand that a lot of people think these NFTs are just pictures, you know what I mean? And it's just like, and when it comes down to it, it is ridiculous to think about.
Yeah.
You're paying
For
typically.
lack of a better term, they really are pictures right
Yeah.
now.
Exactly. But they do have usage in the metaverse and in some video games, stuff like that, and some people's apps and stuff like this. But where it's headed is what you have to think of. This isn't a get rich quick type of thing unless you're constantly flipping NFTs and stuff like that. I mean, it's still even not going to be like, but you still have to fund it early and stuff like that. So there's still a lot of money to go into this. But just understand, if you really want to get into it, you have to be in this for the long haul and understand that this is a world that is coming years down the road.
Yeah.
And but ultimately though, it is coming.
Well, like I said, I appreciate the
Yeah.
kind of that's really base knowledge, and like I said, if you're interested, go do your own research and
Yep. And if you ever hit us up on Instagram, stuff like that, and I'll show you the projects I'll be looking at. I have no
Yeah.
problem, even.
Well, then like the other thing, like to plug, you are starting your own Discord.
Yeah.
Or NFTs. So that's another thing you can talk to someone that you may trust.
Yeah.
On like, hey, is this legit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that is coming. We are building a Discord. That is coming. That is a real thing. It's a matter of doing things right, which we've been trying to do this whole time.
Yeah.
Trying to do things right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I appreciate that, man.
Yep.
Well, as we kind of come to end on the wraps on the episode. So there's a lot of shit going on in the world. A lot of COVID shit.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like World War III is around the fucking corner. Right? The president of Belarus said war like 30 times in his fucking speech the other day.
Damn.
Shit looks grim. But like I try to look at glass half full, type things. Like this is a good time to refine yourself. Maybe there's something that you don't like about yourself you could change. Maybe there's something you've wanted to get into and try. It's a great time for it. And there's no better time than to use those things like Discord or find podcasts or YouTube channels. To get into it. Like I said, I started miniatures this year.
Yeah.
I found out I really liked it. You've tried a couple things. NFTs is one of them, right?
Yeah.
That's it's just a big thing, is like trying to find that thing that kind of brings you back down to reality.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fucking over COVID. Like, I'm fucking over it. And I'm not one of those people that's like, doesn't thinks the government's trying to fuck me all the time. It's not that. It's
Yeah.
I'm just fucking over it, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. This, it's just, we talked about it, stuff like that, but it's just, it's getting to the point. It's just like, oh man, okay, I get it. COVID's a thing, and same thing like you said. Like, it's not, I'm not like against the vaccine. I'm not, whatever it's your body, your
I'm
choice.
boosted.
Do whatever, do whatever you want to do with your body. I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna, press my view onto you. I don't care. But yeah, man, finding those communities and this, being in these different communities of like-minded people, it makes your hobby have a heartbeat to it. You know what I mean? It has like, you're talking to experts. People have been doing this for years and years and years and stuff like that. So finding a good community for the things that you're passionate about it feels amazing, honestly. Like
Yeah.
I'm in this, Apex community and stuff like that. It's the Apex community itself, is built on just teamwork, but it's not as toxic as like Call of Duty's like
See,
communities.
it's funny. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. Is you told me the other day that you were playing Apex with our buddy Gage.
Yeah.
I ran into Gage at work on Friday, and he goes, "You want to play Apex with me this weekend?" And I said, "That's not a good idea." He was like, "Why?" And I said, "I'm garbage." And he's like, and he goes, "Yeah, but so is Tommy." And I'm like, I'm worse than Tommy. Because like it's just funny, like, yeah, you said you were playing them. He's like, "Well, Tommy's bad." It just made me laugh. But like, you brought that up. But yeah, that's just like that's the thing is, I think this time you gotta find like a hobby and a group where you can kind of connect and belong. Because let's be real, it's hard as fuck to find friends when you're an adult.
Yeah.
And it's even harder during a pandemic,
Yep.
So like that's why I keep bringing up miniatures is I've found a community that I wholeheartedly like being a part of. I enjoy the thing. I could talk like it's just on like Discord, dude. Like I'm on this Discord chat and like at the end of the day, miniatures are fucking toys for grown ass people, and there's like I was telling you, there's a guy on there that is like a miniature purist, and like I'm in the Discord for like the army that I decided to make, right? And someone's like, "Here's my, I play Black Templars. Their armor's all black. That's their thing."
Yeah.
And someone will be like, "Hey, here's my Black Templar," and it'll be painted all white.
Yeah.
And somebody will be like, some fucking dude with a double chin, sitting on Discord like, "I thought this was a Black Templar Discord server and not a White Templar Discord server." I'm like, he's being serious.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, just like you can get lost in Discord because you just see people like, "Hey, dude, quit being a fucking asshole." "Oh, if you wanted to pet him white, why don't you just go do a White Scar army then?" I'm actually thinking of the guy from South Park on the World of Warcraft one or something. That's what I go to. But like Discord's another place where like, you can get the popcorn and just like watch people fucking argue.
Just read the comments. Yeah, absolutely. Like I was telling you, like the Apex like community and everything like that. I was playing with these two dudes who are French. I don't speak any French.
No.
None.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah. Omelette du fromage. Like I remember that from Dexter's Laboratory.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah. It's cheese omelet. But I mean, but they could kind of say on me, but like super French,
On me.
Yeah, but like that's all it needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we all had like a goal. We were trying to kill the other team. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's just like I never thought I would listen to these two French dudes yell at each other because they were both not doing well. I was definitely carrying the team, and if that means something, because I'm trash in Gage's lobby. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay in my lobbies. Gage and
it was just
his
funny.
buddies are.
It was funny that you're like, "Yeah, I wasn't doing too bad in his lobbies." I talked to Gage, and he's like, "He's trash."
It got worse as I got drunker, for sure. But I was like, it's just crazy, like, the different. But it was just, I even wrote in the community, I was like, hey, like, this is one of the best things I love about this community is I play with these French guys. I never in my life would think I would be playing with these dudes. I don't even speak their language.
Yeah.
But we legit had a fun time. And you can tell, like, they were having fun because they were winning because, I was carrying the team, because they pretty much sucked. But and that's fine, but, I was having a good time because I was in their lobbies. They're worse than mine. And I was having a good time, but exactly, like, get into a community that is something that you're passionate about and take it also with a grain of salt because there's always, like you said, that dude that's a purist who's like, that's not how you play this game. Fucking do you, man.
Yeah, like,
do you.
Like, one thing I like about the miniature community is they're like, look, if you go play at a grand tournament, which is like pro level, they're like, you're going to have to paint an army a certain way. and you're gonna have to play by the rule book.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're your models, and if you're never gonna do that, play how you want to fucking play.
Yeah.
And if you're happy, who gives a shit what other people think?
Yeah. Exactly.
And like that's legitimately how like most of the community is. Of course, you have those people, but it's just more than anything. It always makes it like everything you do. There's always like I'm sure in like scrapbooking, there's a scrapbooking purist.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you know, like there's always be something, but it always just makes me laugh more than anything. If someone's like, "I am a more superior scrapbooker than you."
Oh yeah, man.
Like, fuck off, Kathy.
Well, we're 4 minutes from first game kickoff.
Booyah.
I think it's
Go Niners.
go Niners.
Chiefs are going.
Yeah.
But, dude, I want to get an Instagram poll going. I know we need to get going. I gotta do this real quick. I want to get an Instagram poll going, and maybe I'll bring it up again next episode. Kind of make a multi-week.
Yeah.
So I'm against bandwagoners, and what my dad taught me was called being a fair weather fan.
Yeah.
Like, you like the Patriots.
Mhm.
And then Tom Brady left, and you're like, well, I'm not a Patriot fan anymore. I'm a Tampa Bay fan.
Yeah.
And then Tom Brady might be retiring. And they're like, well, I'm not a Tampa Bay fan. I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I hate those types of people.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I did not like Colts fans growing up because they would do bullshit like that. And they'd be like, oh, the Colts are fantastic. And the only person they could name is Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And then Peyton Manning leaves. And then I walk in to a fucking Indiana Buffalo Wild Wings, and there's nothing but Broncos jerseys all over the fucking place.
Yep.
And they're like, well, I am not a Colts fan. I am a Broncos fan. And I fucking hated it, dude.
Yeah.
But I am so fucking discouraged with my Bears. I'm so tired of watching bad football.
Yeah.
I don't like, they just hired the new coach and the new general manager, like the guy that picks people and stuff, but
Yeah.
and the coach they hired, he's coached good defenses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to the future. And part of me is like, is it socially acceptable if I'm like, I need a fucking backup team? Like, only other people I think I can talk to are like Browns fans and Lions fans because I think they've had it worse than Bears fans. But I think we're in the top 5.
Yeah.
And what I want to know is it socially acceptable for me to go, well, I'm a Bears fan, but I'm tired of watching bad football all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So I will root for said team because my team fucking sucks. Is
Yeah.
that okay?
I don't know,
Because
man.
I'm so fucking tired
Yeah.
of like, I didn't watch a single Bears game this year because I knew they were gonna be hot garbage,
Yeah.
and I was right.
I know, like you know, there's certain teams like for the Niners, stuff like that. I fuck the Raiders. Raiders are like,
Yeah.
no matter how good they're doing or whatever,
Yeah.
like fuck them.
Yeah.
I would never watch their games, and their fans are just terrible, and just it's just, in my opinion.
I mean, the black hole. That's
Yeah.
all you got to say.
Yeah, the
If
black
you don't
hole.
know, type in Raiders black hole.
Yeah. Well, there's only black hole about that as fucking assholes. But so like, for the 49ers, Raiders, fuck them. Seahawks, definitely fuck them.
I don't like Seahawks fans either.
Yeah.
That's,
But yeah, man, I think like you go through, and I think as long as you aren't rooting for your rivals, I think it's fair to like I liked watching Tom Brady.
I liked watching Tom Brady, but I never rooted. Like, I never was
Yeah.
like, well, I'm a Patriots fan. You know, like,
Yeah.
I
I
like
like watching Pat Mahomes. I got a huge the first time I watched Josh Allen and the Bills was when they played Kansas City, and I was like, damn, I like the head coach. We
Yeah,
talked about that.
Sean
The
McDermott.
the head coach he's got balls.
Yeah.
Balls of steel, and I'm like, I fucking like it. I like him. And then Josh Allen, he's insane, and it's just it's cool. I think it's fine as long as there's no rival.
So, all right, that's what we'll do. Leave a comment below if it's right or wrong for me to have a backup team. And I'll throw a poll up on Instagram, and then I think I'll do a follow-up depending on how the votes go
Mm-hmm.
on who I should fucking root for then, if
I
it
like
goes that way.
Yeah. I think also, we're talking about it, some stuff that if you want Tommy's and Cole's opinion on a certain subject, there might be some polls up going up there soon
Yeah,
too.
that would be great. Please give us recommendations. We want to hear what you want to talk about. All right.
I think it'd be kind of funny to some of this, some of the topics that we have.
I'll give you relationship advice. I don't think you understand. I love giving my opinion on shit, and you can take it or leave it. Like you could be like, "Should I go with this lipstick or this lipstick?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I think the dark lipstick will make you look hotter."
Yeah.
Like I don't give a shit. Like send in questions, and we will
Yeah.
fucking answer them.
Oh yeah, that would be fun, dude.
Yeah,
Just like a whole bunch of like questions, and we have to like answer them.
Yeah,
I think that'd be fun.
yeah, I think it would be.
Let's try it. Fuck it.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for watching this episode of the Brodega podcast. Make sure to go follow us on Instagram for those polls, those questions. Be on the lookout for our Discord server. And like I said before, if you're a fan of the show, make sure you give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. And if you're a podcast listener, if you'd like so, we'd really appreciate it if you give us a rating and or a review online. We deeply appreciate it. And I will make sure to give you a shout out if I see new reviews, written reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, like I said, social media is the place to go if you want to figure out updates, be a part of the community. And I think that's all the plugs I got for this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks guys. Peace out.
All right, see you next week.